Hi everyone and welcome to episode 5 of my FM21 Beta Battle series at Leeds United. Welcome along. So we've got Aston Villa today. They are sitting in 4th place in the table, doing very well this season. We're currently sitting about 10th, which is kind of roughly where we were supposed to be at this stage of the season, I would suggest. So all things considered, it's going to be a bit of a tricky affair, but one that I think we can get a decent result if we play well. So let's go and see if we can do that. So welcome back to Leeds United. So yes, as I say, we're sitting in 10th place in the league at the moment, which is kind of okay. It's been a little bit hit and miss recently. A couple of issues in terms of results, but some pretty decent ones as well. So overall, I'm relatively happy, but we do come up against a very tricky side in Aston Villa today. One that maybe on paper you would suggest that we've got a decent chance against, but they're obviously doing very well this season. So we've had 3 fixtures since you and I were together last. We were together for the Chelsea match. We played Tottenham and absolutely blew them apart. It was amazing in that second half specifically. We were so good. 3 goals from 3 different players, and we just were all over them for the entire game. Everything about it worked really, really well for us. And then immediately afterwards, we came up against Wolves, and it just didn't go as well. We just never were at the races. Their central midfield dominated us for whatever reason, and they got a couple of decent chances and put them away, and we were under pressure from that point onwards. We did get back into the game a little bit for a Bamford goal. Finally, Bamford gets a goal, first of this season. But ultimately, we came away with a very disappointing 2-1 loss. And then we played Crystal Palace. Now, Crystal Palace were interesting. It was a good game. There was a lot that we should be very positive about. Our XG, our expected goals, was pretty high for the fact that we didn't get one. So we were a little unlucky. But having said that, if you've played Palace so far in FM21, Zaha, his pace is just extraordinary, and he just absolutely eats through the ground with it was ridiculous. He's so quick. He just went through all of my defenders like they weren't even there at times. Had about 3 one-on-ones with the keeper, but Meslier played fantastically well. If we go and check him out, Meslier got an 8.9 average rating for that game. And you can see, therefore, how we managed to stay in it, basically. We didn't manage to win it. Up top, this last 3 or 4 players of us up top didn't have the best of games, unfortunately. So we didn't get those chances ourselves on target enough to get the goal. But overall, we played pretty well. It was a reasonable result away from home. So you can see the fixtures, they've been a bit up and down in terms of the results, but ultimately, I think as a general rule, if we go and take out the friendlies at the top of the page, this is our competitive fixture list so far this season, and I think we've done pretty well so far. It's been all right. We just need a little bit of consistency here and there, and I think we're going to have a mid-table finish, which is roughly where we were supposed to be finishing this season. If we can push that slightly higher, that would be great, but that's what we're currently aiming for. So we remain in our 4-3-3 formation. It's working pretty well for us, as we've seen in the fixture results. It's not doing too badly. At home, I think we've got a decent chance today against Villa, but we've got to play well to do it. So in terms of personnel, there's only one major injury, and it's Alioski, who probably wouldn't have been in the squad today anyway. So that's not too bad. So everybody else is fit enough to play. I've rotated a little bit in the last couple of games, not wholesale changes, but 1 or 2, the likes of Harrison coming out and Hernandez playing. And Hernandez has been playing quite well, so he keeps his place today. Bamford, we saw got a goal recently, so he's back in the starting lineup today to see if he can find a way to push on from this point. Other than that, the tactic and the formation remain the same, and the team is Meslier in goal, Ayling at right back, Dallas at left back, Llorente and Cooper in central defence, Click, Phillips and Rodrigo in central midfield, with Costa on the right, Hernandez on the left, and Bamford up top, with a bench of Koch, Janmat, Davis, Wilshere, Rafinha, Harrison and Roberts. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So we've gone with a fist pumping, come on lads, show me what you can do as a team talk. Let's see if we can get something from this group of players today and maybe cause a bit of an upset in terms of the form guide. Aston Villa having been so good so far this season, let's see if we can reel them in a little bit and cause them a problem. I'm still with the name tags above all of the players. I'm recording a few episodes on bulk today, so that may not change depending on what you've commented in the comments below of last video. But if you haven't had your say, what do you think about them? Would you prefer it if we weren't using all of the names all the time, or does it work for you? Again, the zoom function isn't working when we come in and out of games, so we'll have to reset that. So that should be better next time we have a highlight. But so far, the highlights have been a little few and far between, of having 24 minutes played, 1 strike at goal each, only Villa's on target, and it's a little bit quiet so far, but maybe that's not too bad at this point in the game. Maybe we need to suppress it for the first half and then open up a little bit in the latter part of the game if we can keep it tight through then, considering how well Villa are doing this season. And there we go, right the way through to half-time. 1 highlight, and it wasn't up to much, was it really? We eventually only had that 1 shot at goal, and it didn't even go on target. Villa had 4 and 2. Not quite good enough, is it? So into the dressing room we go. I think it's time to point the finger a bit and say I'm not happy with the performance. That's motivated a few. Let's see if we can build them up a little bit. So we're going to outstretch the arms and we'll say, no, that's not what I want to do at all, is it? Let's forget that actually. Let's not bother with that at all. And we're going to go back into the second half after I just make sure that nobody's got any injury issues. Don't seem to have any problems morale-wise, etc. So yeah, let's get back into this second half, and immediately, this is what we need to do more than anything, go in straight away and demand more from them. Early doors in the second half, get them pushing forward, and we are actually going to do that. Let's do this actually, go into the tactics, and we're going to just up the positivity a little bit. And see if we can get on the front foot just a small amount more than we have done so far in this particular match. Corner kick for us though, into the 6-yard box, but no one was there quite. There was a whole bunch of players around the penalty spot, but the kick wasn't accurate enough to find them. And it's Villa that came away with the ball, but we've won it back in that right fullback position, and we work it through central midfield again, through Hernandez picking up the ball at that point. Dallas taking over, the underlapping fullback. I like the fact that when Rodrigo goes further up the pitch, Dallas kind of comes up behind him in the central midfield and covers that gap a little bit. It's not too bad. But now they attack us down their right-hand side. Cross comes into the near post, and we get a bit fortunate there. I think it came off the post, possibly, and it's cleared. At that point, we're going to pause the game just for a second and see whether we need to make a substitution here. There's some good enough average ratings, not so much in the final third, though. Bamford not doing particularly well, is he? So let's see if we can take him out. Let's go into this page instead. Take Bamford out, and Roberts can come in. Then we've got I don't feel the need to change anybody else at this precise moment. We'll give it a few more minutes and then check in with them. But we need to carve out a couple more opportunities, really. We aren't having too many shots at goal today, which is unfortunate. Pause the game again. What I want to go into this time is the instructions and see if we can shoot on sight a little bit more and just see if we can get 1 or 2 shots away that can cause them a few problems. So that's okay. We can okay that and then press play again on the game itself. And a couple more minutes to see if that impacts anything. We're going to go into the shout and say focus, just to make sure that their minds are truly on the moment. But it's Villa again that get the ball away, come down the right-hand side. We have a go at them through Dallas, trying to get a tackle in. Didn't quite manage it. They've dropped it back into midfield. And they're working the ball quite nicely. But then we get a foot in. Rodrigo gets the foot in. And Roberts, really, really good play by Roberts. And then is a slightly wild shot, unfortunately. But really great play up until that point. And we're going to make a couple more changes here. Costa needs to come out now at this point, just through his match sharpness. So Rafinha will come on for him. And we've got Dallas as well that's not looking particularly good. So we'll protect him. And I think we'll bring on Leif Davis for him. And those are the final changes that we can make. It's going okay for such a limited amount of shots at goal. We're keeping it tight against a side that obviously is above us in the division. So, again, not too disappointing, but not quite entertaining and bold enough somehow, has it been really? We've had one or two issues with some slightly average performances here and there, and then occasionally we go nuts on one, and then it suppresses again and goes a bit kind of subdued again. And that was one of the subdued games, but against a decent side. So we'll have to take it. Unlucky Boys wasn't your day. I quite like that one for today. I thought, we can't go overboard about how successful we were, but I don't want to put them under too much pressure either. And I've clicked through without analysing the performance. I think we'll avoid that one today as well. There wasn't much to analyse. It was a good, sound enough defensive performance, I would suggest, but not an awful lot going forward. And maybe we need to find a way to change the roles or the way that we're playing through the top of the pitch to see if we can get a few more strikes at goal. That's something I'll have to work on, though. Let's go through the news feed. Honours even at Ellen Road. Concerns about the conditioning of Stuart Dallas. He's played quite a lot of football for us in the first part of the season, 11 matches already, so he is probably due a break, but he's so good at what he does. It's difficult to find a moment where we can, but we're going to have to do that just to protect him for the second half of the season. Bilic is spotted at Ellen Road. Great, well done Bilic, welcome to Ellen Road. There's my scouting meeting going on. And let's go and check in with the league table, and we find ourselves still in 10th place after 12 matches. There's a couple around us that have got a couple of games in hand, unfortunately. So we still need to keep putting the pressure on finding those results and keep moving forward. But so far, not too bad is the sort of part-time report at the end of another difficult game against Villa. We've knocked them down one spot by only getting a draw, so they're in 5th place. But it's an interesting table, isn't it, really? Leicester sitting in 15th, Tottenham in 13th. Then you've got the likes of Wolves and Arsenal and Chelsea outside the European spots. Southampton, Villa and Sheffield United are holding 3 of those at the moment. So it's an interesting table. But that's pretty much going to do it today. Whilst I think about it, check all the links in the description below to my Discord, my Twitter account, my Patreon, my merchandise store. Go and check all of that out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. Click that like button on this episode if you can as well. That helps me get seen by lots of other people. But it's really important that those sort of things are done to keep the channel moving and growing. So if you could do that, that would be great. So here we are back in the schedule page just to finish this particular episode, and what we're going to do is come back for the final match of the calendar year on the 28th of December. We've got Fulham at away from home at Craven Cottage. So that's the game that we're going to end the calendar year with, and then we go for a January transfer window, and we'll probably, the episode after that, come back and play Liverpool and see how we get on with that. There's lots of games to play, isn't there? We drew Brighton in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. It could have been a lot easier, really. There were lots of lower league sides in there. Brighton have already caused us a little bit of an issue this season so far, and it's back-to-back away games against them in the league and the FA Cup. So that's going to be a tricky start to January, but one that I hope that we can get some positive results from. We've also got Leicester and Everton and West Brom between now and when we play Liverpool as well at the end of that January window. But between now and Fulham, we've got Everton, Arsenal in the Cup, Burnley and Southampton. So some interesting games to come. I'll update you on all of that next time out, and we'll play the Fulham match and see if we can continue to remain in the sort of mid-table point at this stage of the season. Hopefully later in the season, we can begin to squeeze up the top half a little bit if we can. But that's for another day. For today, it was a 0-0 draw against Villa. Okay, not too bad. And next time out, it's Fulham. So I hope to see you there. Until then, though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.